Wanted to read you a little essay tonight by a person named Ted Rall. Now, Ted Rall is a political cartoonist. I'm going to post a link to this article and also a link to Wikipedia so you can kind of get an idea where this guy is coming from. Anyway, here's what he has to say. We expected broken promises, but the gap between the soaring expectations that accompanied Barack Obama's inauguration and his wretched performance is the broadest such chasm in recent historical memory. This guy makes Bill Clinton look like a paragon of integrity and follow-through. From healthcare to torture to the economy and to war, Obama has reneged on virtually all pledges, real and implied. So timid and so owned is he that he trembles in fear of offending pretty much anybody. Obama is useless. Worse than that, he may actually turn out to be dangerous. Which is why, if he has any patriotism left, after thousands of meetings he has sat through with corporate contributors, blood-sucking lobbyists, and corrupt politicians, he ought to step down now, before he drags us further into the abyss. I refer here to Obama's plan for preventive detentions. If a cop or other government official thinks you might want to commit a crime someday, you could be held in prolonged detention. Reports in the US-controlled state media imply that Obama's shocking new policy would only apply to Islamic terrorists, or in this case, wannabe Islamic terrorists, or also kind of wanna sort of be thinking about terrorism, even though you're just a common criminal type of dude. As if this makes it okay. In practice, Obama wants to let the government goons snatch you, me, and anyone else they may deem annoying off the street someday. Preventive detention is the classic defining characteristic of a developing dictatorship, because dictatorial regimes rely on fear rather than consensus. Their priority is self-preservation rather than improving their people's lives. They worry obsessively over the one thing that they can't control, what Orwell called thought crime. Contempt for rulers might someday translate into direct action. Locking up people who haven't done anything wrong is worse than un-American and a violent attack on the most basic principles of Western jurisprudence. It's contrary to the most essential notion of human decency. That anyone has ever been subjected to preventive detention is an outrage. That the President of the United States, a man who won an election because he promised to elevate our moral and political discourse, would even entertain such a revolting idea offends the idea of civilization itself. Obama is cute, he's intelligent, and he's charming. But there's something rotten going on here inside. Unlike the Republicans who backed Bush, and some of them are still backing him, I will not follow a terrible leader just because I voted for him. Obama has pretty much revealed himself. Prolonged detention, reported the New York Times, would be inflicted upon terrorism suspects who cannot be tried. Cannot be tried is an interesting choice of words. Any terrorism suspect can be tried. Can you be a suspect if you haven't been charged with a crime? Anyone can be tried for anything. At this writing, a Somali child is sitting in a prison in New York charged with piracy in the Indian Ocean, where the U.S. has no jurisdiction. Anyone can be tried. What is it exactly that some prisoners cannot be tried for? The New York Times explains why Obama wants this entirely new chapter in American law in a boring little sentence all the way down, after the jump on page A16. It says, yet another question is what to do with the most problematic group of Guantanamo detainees, those who pose a national security threat but cannot be prosecuted either for lack of evidence or because evidence is tainted. In democracies with functioning legal systems, it is assumed that people against whom there is a lack of evidence are innocent. They walk free. In countries where the rule of law prevails, in places blessedly free of fearful leaders whose only concern is staying in power, tainted evidence is no evidence at all. If you can't prove that a defendant committed a crime, an actual crime, not a thought crime, in a fair trial, you release him and apologize to the judge and the jury for wasting their time. It is amazing and incredible, after 8 years of Bush's lawless behavior, to still have to explain these things. For that reason alone, Obama should resign. And actually, he already has, in terms of representing the will of the American people who wanted substantial change. And just as a little side note, there's another Guantanamo prisoner who killed himself a couple of days ago. See you all later.